Welcome to the second half of 313. Here we go. Back in the lab. Background processes. Almost all the backgrounds you saw listed. And when you did the EF command, remember that thing? And pull this up again. I was in alpha. Our process running the background. Remember that full list? If you didn't do the EF, it just showed the stuff that was just for you running. But if you do the ps.ef, I think ps, it'll show every process. And a lot of these are like root processes. And we talked about sorting them because there's different owners, root, this ww data, daemon, 103, 101. But those are a bunch of like default people on the list. And in fact, in our thing down here, we wrote the list of authorized users. All right. So almost all of those are background processes run without user input. Like you don't have to know they're running in the background. Kind of default is to hide it from you, so it's not confusing you. Antivirus should run in the background. You can make a process run as a background process and also bring it to run in the foreground again. So hey, you might want to make it. To see how this works, you start a process that takes a while to run. The Linux sleep command. Okay, you can use man to actually see a link. Use man to learn the sleep command. So what I'm going to do is man sleep. You want to see what sleep does? Oh, okay, here's a big old description. Remember, there were some commands to actually go through this. If you hit spacebar, you can hit spacebar to scroll down. I think there was a... Yep. But I'm going to hit Q to quit because... Okay, cool. Use sleep to pause your shell for 30 seconds. If I just say sleep, will it pause my shell for 30 seconds? I don't know how sleep works. Oh, you have to go sleep number. Oh, okay. So Guilty W's not telling me what to do. So I'm going to go sleep. Flip. Go 30. So if I do this, it's probably going to take 30 seconds until it wakes up again. So sleep. What did sleep do if we looked at that? It'll pause the shell commands. And I'm going to learn this in 313. Sure. You don't see a system prompt. You can't type any other command. So if you try doing anything, like nothing's going to happen while it's going on like that. Okay. And you can't type other commands because the shell is waiting to finish sleep. Specifically, the sleep command is running in the foreground, waiting for input, waiting to display output, or waiting to finish. So by default, the process you spawn always runs in the foreground. However, you can move a process to the background. The way you can do other commands in your shell while the first process running. Okay, so if I want to run sleep, and normally you wouldn't do this, but you might just want to have it run in the background. After the first sleep finishes, issue another sleep for 90 seconds. Okay, then type Control Z. This stops the process and reports as stopped. Control Z is one of those hard kills of processes, like if things hang up. Okay, so it slept for 30 seconds, and I know I was typing garbage here and then hit enter and nothing happened. But then after that 30 seconds, then it just inputted that command to the next line and said that was garbage. All right, so we're going to go sleep for 90 seconds, and we're going to Control Z to kill it. All right, that kills it early. Maybe, do I want to write that down? I'm going to write Control plus Z kills a process running in the shell. You know what? I'm going to highlight that. That's just kind of like one of those keyboard commands you have to use sometimes. So I'm going to put it on that list just because. Oh, no problem if you overslept. I'll get you. Thanks for type. Yeah, if you show up late, please make sure you type in Zoom. Now instruct the process to continue executing, but in the background. And regain control. Okay. Okay, so then if I did BG. Okay. Oh, this process that was still going in the background. I'm guessing BG, the process continues to run, but in the background, sending input for you. When the sleep command finally finishes, you'll see a done message. Okay, did I actually take too long? Maybe not. Oh, so I stopped this. I'm not exactly sure how this works. Highlights. It should say done. Well, let's see how this is actually. The process continues to run, but in the background, in sleep command, you'll see a done message indicating the process is completed. Move a background process to the foreground, use the FG command. Okay, so I'm going to actually put, I wonder if it actually, okay, so what if I did sleep 90 again, and I did Control Z to terminate, and then I'm going to go background. Okay. Oh, so it probably wasn't terminated, so I'll have to wait 90 seconds again, but you know what? Or that, it's already in the background. Okay. So when the sleep command finishes, you'll see a done message indicating the process was completed. So when I ran BG again, it says bash the job has terminated, and then it said done. Okay, so this puts my BG puts my current job in the background. How does that work? So let's look this up. I'm gonna man BG. Oh, no manual for that. Okay. So BG, I think, puts the current processes in the background. I'm gonna say BG processes in the background. And then I'm going to write FG because FG is going to put it back in the foreground. Move a process back to the foreground, use the FG command. So let's say if I go FG. Now it's back in the foreground. Oh, and then you go BG. Oh, I can't. I have to go Control Z. BG. Wait, Control Z doesn't kill a process. Because it didn't kill that sleep command. It like got out of the... Stops the process and reports it as stopped. Okay, it does. Okay. So to move a process to the foreground, use the FG command. Below, when the sleep command again running in the foreground, you'll be forced to wait for the command to finish. Often control processes by starting them in the background and then bringing them to the foreground and vice versa. Okay. So it's like I can have a window open in a way and then like you minimize it and you have a different process going. Maybe that's kind of the same feel. All right. Let's say for archive, bring the process to the foreground. Okay. Okay. So that's kind of what's going on there. Now, did I get a done command? Okay, it says the job had terminated. What if I said foreground again? No such job. So if I did sleep 20, then I went foreground. Oh, wait, Control Z. Oh, but when okay. It's weird because I typed that FG and then I did Control Z, but then I think it put the FG in. Okay, that puts sleep 20 back in the foreground. But then if I go background, it's on the background. But if I go foreground, I think it finished already. Okay. That's weird. Like, it doesn't... Okay, I'll accept that. Doesn't seem to behave the way I thought it would, though. Like, it didn't... Maybe I'm not being patient enough. I don't know. I'm going to keep going. A simple shell script. When analyzing systems and their resources, security experts often write simple shell scripts that help with their tasks. Okay. There's like little like chunks of code. Let's say you suspect a malicious process is running in your system and you want to monitor it, such as since PS is a one-time report, You have to type PS. So EF over and over to monitor the processes, right? Oh, because I want to see what's on my process list. You have to keep doing that. That's not really nice to do. You want like something ongoing. Kind of like if you open up the task manager in Windows, it just keeps updating. But so if you want it to behave kind of like the task manager where it keeps updating, we don't have like, oh, this window, it's like real-time monitoring. So we have to do it differently. We can do that with a shell command. Like Python scripting and Python commands. Well, not everyone in this class has done Python or done coding, but it's okay. They're going to give you the code. We can write shell scripts using shell commands. So basically, it's just like basically a file with a bunch of lines in it. Load 2 versions of the same script, just using different syntax. Enter one of them in the same terminal. So you can do it this way, or you can do it this way. Doesn't matter. One line maybe could be easier to type. It's probably very difficult to read, but they're basically doing the same. They are doing exactly the same thing. Like, except this like semicolon character represents doing a new line. So, okay. Whichever style script you need, here's what it does. It runs what this is going to do. This while says, hey, do this loop forever. A while loop, while true loop, we'll just loop this stuff forever. So it does everything in the do area. So it's going to run clear, PS, and then the sleep. So it clears, is going to clear the screen of everything on there. Like right now, if I type clear, it just clears my screen like that. Go clear. Clears the shell. Okay. So, and then it pauses and then it runs the PS report, and then it waits 3 seconds, then it'll do another update. So, every 3 seconds, it'll refresh, basically. Observe. So, what if we do this? So, how do I do this? Oh. So, I think I just type them in the terminal. So, I can type, if I go while through. Oh, I can do these one line at a time. That's cool. And go do. And then clear. And then PS-EF. Sleep 3. And then done. Okay, so what this is going to do is it's going to have everything up here. And every 3 seconds, it's going to like refresh. Remember, there's a lot of things, though. Okay, cool. So I could have done this as one line. So that's neat. I thought I'd have to make a file, but I can just type it in one line at a time. If you start with this while thing, it just assumes. It's waiting for you to do done. That indicates like the end of the script. Whichever style you're used to, this is what it does. Observe the output. Not a lot is changing. So you won't see like a lot of, I mean, this is going to look the same every time it refreshes. And it'll probably be annoying because it's just one big list right here. Process ID of the PS commands, it's new PS. Okay, so if you look for the process ID of the PS command, which is going to be super annoying because a big list just pops up. Okay, so what if I did this differently? What if I did, can I go up? Oh, well, okay, what's crazy? I did this one line at a time, right? And you hit up, you get your old commands. So then what it did is instead of doing those enters, it just wrote it as one big line. Okay, so I'm curious. I'm just going to get rid of this. So this should reset every time, but I only have my things. Notice it's refreshing what it said here, it's refreshing every 3 seconds. PS is the only command that's going to be like run again, and it's getting a new process ID every time. That's cool. Going up by 3 every time. So maybe process ID is tied to like how many seconds. That's cool. So, I mean, that's easier for me to see that it's actually running. And Control Z to stop. Cool. Now let's do something more interesting. So malicious user beta. From this point forward, you'll practice what we learned about processes and their effect on the system. So alpha user is the authorized. We now have a new user, the beta user, the malicious unauthorized user. With these assumptions, as alpha, you're authorized to treat betas processes as if they're bad. Yep. First, interrupt and terminate your currently running script. Did it. We're stopped. That terminates the script. So temporary. Oh, okay. So Control Z, temporary. Oh, when I stop that like sleep script, but Control C is going to kill it. So like you can't restart it. But when I do like Control C, that's kind of like a pause. Okay. Or Control Z is a pause when I say stop. They said stop. Usually stop means you can't restart it. They should have said Control Z is temporarily stopping something is also called pause. Like, why can't they say pause? Why? Temporarily. It's like calling water. It's like dihydroxide, right? Using the scientific terms and the elements of the molecules. Like, what? Why not call it water? Why not call it temporary stop a pause? Control Z pauses the command. Control C stops, closes the whatever command. Okay. There we go. Leaving your terminal open. Go back to we're going to open beta. So remember back in here, we got alpha right here, but beta right over here. They're both open. All right, so we're going to pretend there's another user. They're both not logged into the same machine here, so we can look at, we'll probably be able to see things. We open this right here. You'll have two Linux windows open. There we go. Use the grep right here. I think it's grep is how we say this. grep probably. Grep. As alpha, you're suspicious of a beta. So instead of viewing all the processes, you want to see just beta's process. A new command to help you do this. Grep is a search tool. So grep is like Control F to find. So it's kind of searching in Linux. In alpha commands, we're going to run this. So this does a process, the PSEF like we normally do, but then it like chains it to like, hey, filter out or search only for betas in there. So we're going to go PS-EF and then do the pipe or the bar, and then we're going to go to grep beta. So this is everything beta's running right here, or anything that has beta in the search. The output of the PS command is piped into grep, which searches for the phrase. So what we're getting, and it's right here, you should see beta is running two things, bash, and then the ID, that's like the virtual lab type thing. And then root says, hey, I have beta open. And then alpha, this is my command, but I ran the grep that has beta in it. When grep, you filtered out all the user's processes to view only beta's processes. However, the viewer lacks the header row. You can instruct grep to search for other phrases such as unique phrase in the header row like user ID. So continuing in alpha shell, use a new E flag, E for expression, in grep to instruct it to search for multiple phrases. Because remember, like we don't have the EF usually gave us the detailed stuff. So, okay. So instruct to search for multiple phrases or expressions. So what do I want to search for? Can I actually, I don't want to copy paste. So what I can do, hit up command. So I want to go grep E beta. I don't have to do this twice. And then what if you're looking for the phrase bash? I don't know. Sure. Oh, how did that change anything? Or maybe you're looking for a certain process ID. Use this version of grep in your process monitoring scripts. You can monitor the beta user and keep your header row. Use the up arrow key in the keyboard to retrieve the script from your command line history. Yeah, if you hit up and down, you get previous commands. So it's, oh yeah. Oh, I already noticed this part, dude. So, oh, okay. And then you can make it like, you know how we did that search forever? Okay, you can make that edit. Okay, I'm looking for UID. How did that help anything? Okay, so then you could do this, run every faster, and then just 1 second. Cool. I'm almost done with this. Jeez, this video is taking a long time. Over in Beta's shell, issue the command bogus underscore SW1D. Okay. We go bogus software 1D. Be sure to enter this in the beta shell, not alphas, which is running. That's a beta's malicious process. Okay, so in alpha we should run this looping thing, right? I kind of skipped that part because I was like, whatever. So we're gonna do PS, and then I want to change this to be dash EF, and then we're gonna pipe it into that. The grep E data E UID. And then we'll do a sleep of 1 second. Oh. Oops. What was wrong? Oh, I didn't pipe it in there. Supposed to be this pipe right here. There we go. So this should be running, and notice, okay, so like if I close this over here, it's gone, right? If I do this, it's back there. Let's use that process. Cool. Be sure to enter the beta shell, not the alphas, which is running. Add the grep to the commands table. Okay. So if I'm going to add grep right here. Okay, grep's going to be a big one. What does grep do? Again, I should have wrote that down as I was using it. Search tool. Okay, so grep is a search tool in Linux. The ways you can do this: grep beta, and then etc. Maybe I'll do this. I don't like how it keeps formatting like. Turn those off. Okay. All right. Since you're considered beta's process to be malicious, you want to terminate it, as alpha. You can terminate processes using the kill command. Further, since beta is a malicious user, you can force the user to log off the system. If you kill a user's bash process, it will immediately log them off. All right. In alpha shell, find and record the process ID. What is the process ID? You're in alpha right here of the bogus thing. It's 3526 for me. It might be different for other users at home, but it's going to be right there, process ID. Record that. So 3526, whatever I got. Here's 3526. I'm running it in. Record parent process ID. So the parent process 3354. In my case, 3354. And other types of attacks, the parent process may not be the user's login. In this case, it was just the user's login. So, because the user just directly logged in. But if it was other bad processes, it could be just some random thing. It could be some other way they're organizing the info. So, or it could be they have other processes running, creating new processes, whatever. Other types of attacks, the parent process of malware may not be the user's login shell. Multi-spawn technique is a common way. Since the parent of the bogus process is bash, you can stop gathering IDs, tracing PPIDs, and that. Okay, you can stop gathering PIDs. Who cares? You want to do a trace to the process as far back as possible. You can scroll through all the outputs to see older parent processes. The oldest parent process in the trace has a PPID of 1. It processes a PPID of 1. That indicates that. What did I take? Oh, no. Oh, the process was started at boot time or its parent process no longer running. Okay, so parent process ID of 1 is like, okay, because you don't see it right now because all like the hidden stuff or all the background processes. 1 means there's no current parent. Exit the process monitoring script. We're done. Control Z to kill it or to stop it completely, not pause, right? No, Control Z is pausing. Well, how do you restart the command? So does foreground restart the command? I guess I'm confused. Issue a kill command to terminate that. Okay, so we're going to kill the process ID of the malicious software. So kill the 3526. Wait, I can't do it. What happened? Why do you think you got these? It says alpha does not have permissions to kill the other person's process. I guess that's probably a good thing, right? Because you don't want like someone else just to stop your things unless they have the privileges to do this. But it should be a little bit, even if they did, you want to make sure you don't accidentally like typo and kill someone else's process when you didn't mean to, right? To manage the process you do not own, you need to use a privileged account. User type that has the most is root. So you have to be like as a root user. You may have noticed the process most. Okay, the root command that was like you're like the original, the master account. Become a root user. You could log out and then log in as root. But Linux has a way to just log in or to change your user ID. You basically change your login ID. Well, su with set user or super user command. To become root, su su-root. Su-root. Oh, and then of course you have to do the password. Password is tour. Backwards root. Awesome. Notice now I'm root. Okay. No characters are echoed when you type passwords. All right. So when I type the password, I didn't see like the asterisks on the screen or actually what I'm typing. So now I'm root. Sweet. SU. Super user. Or set user. Can be used to change to the user. Priv. I spelled that wrong. Thank you. SU, so like SU dash root. Okay. Oh, write the elevated privileges. You can now access everything. So let's kill that process one more time. So I'm going to say kill. Oh, that's weird. Kill 3526. And notice, as soon as I did this, it said this was terminated over here. And to learn what happened, you'll need to understand the kill command in more detail. The kill command sends a signal to the process terminated, like an interrupt. So it's basically doing Control C over there. But it's probably not exactly the same because it gets a terminated message. Kill options allow system admins to greater control the process, but some important processes won't stop if they receive an interrupt. They need a forceful termination signal, also called a hard kill to terminate. Yeah, because like you don't want to terminate everything. I mean, some things are important to be running in the background, so you want to make sure that like you're really certain. Do you really want to do this stuff? Like this is kind of not just something you do like haphazardly. So you do a -9 or -kill flag. That means like I mean it. All right. So you log in as root. So we want to do like if you tried to kill their remember their terminal, right? Or the bash thing right here. So if I tried to kill like 3354, like hey, it's not letting you do that because that would be maybe you need to be more serious. So I'm gonna do oops. So if I'm back over here, do -9 says I'm serious. There you go. Logged them out. And notice that screen just logged out. Boom. Done. Never stay in the root account any longer. You need to when you're done. You should log out. Yeah. So you don't want to stay like in here. And like in case like you leave the computer and you're logged in as that root user and someone comes by. So let's do that. All right. Add the kill command. Okay, so I've added. Wow. Okay. Insert row below. Kill -9. Kill dash. All caps kill. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna write down. Kill will terminate a process. And I'm going to put some notes. You might need to log to be a root kill process. You -9 or kill did for port process like bash. Okay, so I'm putting that in my words. And there we go. Oh, also we learned log out. So one more we learned log out. If I do log out as alpha, oh, it closes it. You out. Useful if you sue. I say sue into root regular account. Okay, I'd say something like that. There, that was a lot. Done with this video. Folks, check the commands list.